Seniors, one morning habit to slash stroke risk by 50%. Did you know that more than 80% of strokes in people over 60 occur in the morning, within just the first few hours after waking up? And the astonishing fact is that most of these cases could be completely prevented if we simply changed one small daily habit. I once met Mrs. Linda, 68 years old, healthy, eating well, and still walking every day. Yet one morning, right after getting out of bed, she felt dizzy, then collapsed from a stroke. Why do you think someone who seemed to be doing everything right could still end up in such danger? The truth is, mornings are not as harmless as many people believe. After a night's sleep, our blood becomes thicker, blood pressure surges, and the heart has to work harder to pump blood to the brain. For younger individuals, the body can adapt. But for those over 60, with blood vessels that have lost much of their elasticity, this is the most vulnerable time for a serious event to occur. Have you ever asked yourself what you do in the first 30 minutes after waking? Are those actions protecting your brain, or are they unknowingly pushing you closer to a stroke? Today, I will share with you a remarkably simple morning habit, costing nothing, that when done correctly and consistently, can reduce your stroke risk by up to 50%. It may sound unbelievable, but what I am about to tell you is based on scientific data from clinical studies and has already helped thousands of older adults maintain stable blood pressure, prevent morning spikes, and protect their brains for years. Do you want to know what this habit is and why it works so effectively? More importantly, are you ready to discover a truth that could change the way you start every morning from now on?
Recognizing the dangerous moment in the morning. When you first open your eyes in the morning, your body doesn't simply wake up. A series of physiological reactions occur instantly. Your body temperature rises slightly. Stress hormones, such as cortisol, begin to release to rouse you. Your heart rate increases, and your blood pressure climbs. Scientists call this the morning blood pressure surge. It might sound normal, but in people over 60, this surge can act as the trigger for a stroke. How many times in your life do you think you've experienced this surge without even knowing it? After a night's sleep, your body loses a significant amount of water through breathing and sweating. Dehydration makes your blood thicker, forcing your heart to pump harder to circulate blood throughout the body. For blood vessels that have already lost elasticity, especially in the brain, this creates far more pressure than you might imagine. Picture pumping water through a brand new rubber hose versus one that is old and brittle. The new hose can handle the pressure, but the old one is at risk of cracking. Which condition do you think your blood vessels are in at your age? Research from the American Heart Association shows that people who experience a stronger morning blood pressure surge have a significantly higher risk of stroke, particularly ischemic stroke. This means that the moments right after waking up are not a time to be complacent. They are the very moments when you need the most protection. So, if a simple action could ease this blood pressure surge and reduce blood thickness, would you want to know what it is? And here's the important part. This action is not high-intensity exercise, nor is it an immediate overhaul of your diet. It's something you can do right in bed or within minutes after stepping out of it. In the next part, I will reveal exactly what this morning habit is, why it works so well, and how you can start tomorrow without spending a penny. Are you ready to discover this secret?
Revealing the habit. The habit I want you to adopt starting tomorrow morning is to measure your blood pressure immediately after waking, take your prescribed blood pressure medication on time if your doctor has ordered it, and then walk gently for about 10 minutes. Sounds almost too simple, right? But it's precisely this simplicity that makes it sustainable and delivers long-term results. Have you ever tried doing all three of these things consistently every single morning? Let me explain. First, measuring your blood pressure in the morning is one of the fastest ways to detect dangerous surges you might not feel. Meta-analyses involving thousands of patients show that simply monitoring blood pressure at home daily can lower average systolic readings by 2 to 3 millimeters of mercury and increase the likelihood of reaching target blood pressure by more than 10%. These are numbers significant enough to make a major difference in stroke risk. Did you know that reducing systolic blood pressure by just 5 millimeters of mercury can cut your stroke risk by about 10%? Next, if you're on blood pressure medication, taking it on time, right after measuring and before beginning your morning activities, ensures that the medication works during the very hours your body is most prone to a blood pressure spike. Many people skip their morning dose or take it late, breaking the protective effect. Have you ever missed a dose and thought, it's probably fine? And finally, walking for 10 minutes at a gentle pace right after measuring and taking your medication not only improves circulation, but also warms up your blood vessels, helping them become more flexible. A pooled analysis by Chang-Do Lee and colleagues found that moderate physical activity can reduce stroke risk by up to 27%. Do you think you could spare 10 minutes each morning in exchange for years of health and independence? But there's one mistake many people make that can completely undo this habit's benefits or even backfire. In the next section, I'll explain exactly what that mistake is and how to avoid it so your morning routine truly protects your brain. Do you want to know if you've been making this mistake every morning without realizing it?
Science-backed benefits. You might be wondering, can such a simple habit really make that big of a difference? The answer is yes, and it has been proven repeatedly in reputable medical research. A Cochrane meta-analysis found that home blood pressure monitoring, when combined with physician guidance, can reduce systolic blood pressure by an average of 5 mmHg. And as I've mentioned, just a 5 mmHg drop can lower your stroke risk by about 10%. Do you see how that number alone is worth taking action every morning? That's not all. When you combine blood pressure monitoring with taking medication on time and walking gently, you are addressing 3 major stroke risk factors at once: high blood pressure, poor circulation, and thickened blood after sleep. Research published in the journal Stroke shows that individuals who maintain moderate physical activity, such as daily walking, have up to a 27% lower risk of stroke compared to those who are sedentary. Do you realize that just 10 minutes each morning could place you in this protected group? In addition, keeping a consistent routine of monitoring, medication, movement helps you detect early warning signs, such as unusually high blood pressure readings or new episodes of dizziness. Early detection means early intervention, and that is the key to avoiding serious events. Some long-term studies show that when older adults maintain steady blood pressure control and light physical activity, their overall stroke risk can drop by nearly half compared to those who don't. Would you consider this the most profitable health investment you've ever made? However, like any strategy, if done incorrectly, you could not only lose its benefits, but also create new risks. In the next section, I'll share the most common mistakes seniors make when practicing this morning routine and how you can avoid them completely. Do you want to be sure you're not unknowingly sabotaging your own efforts?
Common mistake warnings. Many people hear about this habit and start doing it right away, but then they don't see the results they expected. Why? Because they unknowingly make small mistakes that completely undermine the process. Have you ever measured your blood pressure right after getting out of bed and walking around the room? Or taken the measurement after having your morning coffee? When you do that, the reading will not reflect your true blood pressure upon waking, and you may miss the most dangerous morning spikes. Have you ever thought you were fine just because the monitor showed a normal number? Another common mistake is not taking blood pressure medication at the right time. Some people forget entirely, while others take it after a high-sodium breakfast, which can cause their morning blood pressure to rise even higher. Did you know that a salty breakfast, like bread with ham or cheese, can raise blood pressure by several points in just an hour? When combined with the body's natural morning surge, this creates a perfect recipe for a vascular event. Is this how you've been eating every morning? Finally, many people skip drinking water before measuring blood pressure and moving around. After sleep, your body is dehydrated, your blood is thicker, and your blood vessels are under more strain. Just one warm glass of water, about 250 to 300 milliliters, can help thin the blood, improve circulation, and make your blood pressure reading more accurate. Have you ever compared your reading before and after drinking water? If you avoid these 3 mistakes, your protective results will increase significantly. In the next section, I'll guide you on how to combine the 3 morning habits in the correct order to create the strongest synergistic effect. Are you curious to know what this golden sequence is? How to combine the 3 habits. To maximize your protection against morning stroke risk, you need to follow the 3 steps in the exact golden order. Step 1. Drink a glass of warm water immediately after opening your eyes. This helps thin the blood, improve circulation, and prepare your blood vessels to handle the increased blood flow when you start moving. Do you believe a single glass of water could make such a big difference? Step 2. Once your body has gently woken up, measure your blood pressure. Sit in a chair with your back straight, arm at heart level, and relax for at least 1 minute before pressing the start button. This ensures the reading accurately reflects your vascular condition at the most critical time of the day. If the number is higher than usual, you'll know right away to be extra cautious that day. Wouldn't you prefer to get an early warning instead of letting things happen silently? Step 3. If you have a morning blood pressure medication, take it immediately after measuring and before breakfast. This way, the medication starts working right at the time your body is most prone to a pressure surge. Then, spend 10 minutes walking gently either around your home or outside. Don't walk too fast. This is not endurance training, but a light activation to help your blood vessels dilate, your heartbeat stabilize, and your blood flow smoothly. Can you see that in just 10 minutes each morning, you've accomplished 3 powerful things for your brain and heart health? When you keep up these 3 steps every day, you don't just lower your stroke risk, you also improve your sleep quality, mood, and daytime energy. But to sustain this habit long-term, you need an extra smart reminder factor. In the next section, I'll reveal a free tool that thousands of seniors are using to keep their brain-protecting routine on track. Would you like to know what that tool is?
Tool to help you maintain the habit. After many years of working with older patients, I've realized that willpower alone isn't enough for everyone to stick to a good habit. We tend to forget, get distracted, especially in the morning when we're still groggy. That's why having a smart reminder tool can make a huge difference. Do you have a system in place to remind you to drink water, measure your blood pressure, or take your medications on time? I'd like to introduce you to a free app called Senior Health Tracker. This app is designed specifically for people over 60 with a simple interface, large text, easy-to-read screens, and a focus on just 3 things: reminding you to drink water, reminding you to measure your blood pressure, and reminding you to take your medications. It also lets you log your daily blood pressure readings and view charts by week or month. Don't you think that if you could actually see your blood pressure improving week by week, you'd be more motivated to keep going? Thousands of seniors have already used Senior Health Tracker and reported that they miss fewer doses, drink enough water more consistently, and, most importantly, feel more at ease knowing everything is being tracked. This is not a sales pitch. The app is completely free. You just download it and start using it right away. Would you like to turn your phone into a health assistant that's always by your side? In the final section, I'll recap this entire golden routine and give you a clear call to action so you can start tomorrow morning. Are you ready to make tomorrow the first day you truly take control of your stroke risk? So, we've just walked through a morning routine that takes less than 15 minutes but can cut your stroke risk in half, a disease that could completely change your life in just seconds. You now know why the moments right after waking are risky. You understand the golden three-step habit: drink water, measure blood pressure, take medication on time, and walk gently, and why it's so powerful. You also know how to do it correctly, avoid mistakes, and use a reminder tool to keep it going. Now, there's only one question left. Are you ready to make tomorrow the first day of a life-saving habit? Remember, stroke doesn't give a warning. It won't wait until you're free to strike. Every morning when you open your eyes, you stand at a crossroads. On one side, letting everything continue as before. On the other, taking charge to protect your blood vessels, your brain, and your future. Which path will you choose? I want you to picture a morning 6 months from now. You wake up feeling light, without the constant worry about stroke risk. You check your blood pressure and see a stable reading. You drink your water, take your medication, and go for a gentle walk, breathing in fresh air. You feel in control of your health, and that control gives you the confidence to enjoy life more fully. Would you like to live in this scenario? If your answer is yes, start tomorrow morning. Place a glass of water by your bed. Keep your blood pressure monitor in plain sight. Set a reminder on your phone or download the Senior Health Tracker app. Don't let tomorrow pass without action. Share this video with at least one friend or family member over 60, because one small morning habit can be the line between life and death. And who knows, you might be the very reason they avoid a stroke. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore more simple yet powerful ways to keep your heart and brain healthy for years to come. But for now, let tomorrow be the day you start living a life free from the fear of stroke. Are you ready?